Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It.
Which one did you nearly say?
I almost said the Bonnie and Moon pair. I just if it's not TVGP proper, I'm on my script.
Oh, be thankful I don't introduce it based on how I introduce ODNF every month. Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly.
It's really hard to get. I know your wife was poking fun of you in the most recent ODNF, but it's really hard to get into to flip on the host switch and kind of get ready to be like, hey, welcome to the episode. Drive time in the morning, that sort of thing. So yes, this is We Roguelike It, episode 3, Hand of Fate. Episode 3 is the only time they're going to line up.
Yep. No Manos Hand of Fate, just episode 3.
Yeah, just regular Hand of Fate.
Yes.
Australia's Hand of Fate.
Yes.
All right, let's... how far are you now?
Still the same. I took I'll be honest, a bit of a weird week this week.
Mm-hmm.
My seasonal workplace is ending soon, so it's mad meltdown at work to end one season and start the next season,
the
which
final
starts
push.
Yeah, so it's like the final push for that, but the final push for the winter season too, so it's chaotic. So very little time, and as you'll probably hear in the TVGP proper, other games have stolen my time away.
Yes.
So I did a couple of runs, and it was one of those things where I think I had the Isaac week, where it was just like, no, you're not going to make any progress.
You're not going to win. I'm not going to let you.
No, every single time you draw a card, it's going to be a huge failure. Every single time you try and do something, it's going to be a huge failure. Every single time you try and beat this boss, it's going to be terrible. So I'm still on the third row. I think I'm the third one across. I'm on one of the queens. I know that much.
Okay. Yeah, I played a lot this week. It really grabbed me. I am on the final boss, the very last card. Getting up to the fourth row, I had a lot of really good runs. I had I had a couple of runs that were just nothing is going to stop me. I've got armor and weapon upgrades, and look at all this money and food I have, nothing. And I'm just motoring through.
So you had the opposite to me.
Yeah, that ended as soon as I got to the fourth row. I ran into a brick wall where the game... And it wasn't even the curses you start with.
Yeah, which some of them can be nasty.
Yeah, which we'll get to here. I have a whole page full of notes because I played a bunch. But we will get to curses here in a minute on my last note. But one of the things that... is I played this when it came out 3 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And like you had mentioned last week... there's the DLC storylines in now, which wasn't... I don't think there were any. Maybe there were one when the game originally came out. I really like those a lot.
Yeah. My favorite one so far is the purple one, the Goblin King, I believe it is.
Yeah, I just finished that one.
Yep, I think I'm up to like number 4 or 5 in that line.
I think the last one is 4. That chain is weird because you do like 4 or 5 and then the quest chain disappears and you pick it back up from another set of cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but it's so cool.
Yeah, I liked that quest chain. I'm not super happy with the cards that you get tossed into your deck as a result of it. That has been less than great. I'm on, I think, step 4 of the Minotaur one, the White Minotaur. That took me forever to get through the encounter where you accidentally stumble upon the Hunter's Trap.
Yep,
I kept falling down it.
Yep, so did I. I think I took 3 shots at that, and my last attempt, I actually succeeded in that, and I have now got the Meeting at the Tavern card, which is stage 2 or 3, because I think it's hear about the Hunter, encounter the trap, then meet him at the tavern, I think is number 3.
Yeah.
And I'm up to that one.
I just did the tavern one today. Thankfully, that was one of those easy ones where it's like, just encounter it and just go through the story, and then you'll get the next one on another run. So I'm I'm up to the point where I just need to succeed at all in one run to be able to see the card. I have had... one of the things I'm not sure how I feel about the game is as you start beating bosses, their cards are in your enemy deck as normal encounters.
Yep.
That has...
seems harsh.
Yeah, like, it's not... if you have a fairly... if you have even a moderately strong run, I feel like it's not that bad. But when you get a King of Scales... well, that's the one I'm fighting right now. So, like, King of Dust plus...
the Queen of Plague.
Like, 2 fire elementals, the lava golems... I'm not going to win that fight. Like, I'm fairly good at the fighting part of this game.
Yeah.
Not that good. Like, I'm not going to make it. And combining that with the guaranteed run ender card that is driving me crazy is Lost in Swamp.
I haven't even encountered that one yet.
Oh my god. This one, it's not an unfair card. I really believe it isn't. But what happens is there's sort of 2 branches to this. One is you stumble upon a swamp and you see a guy in a cloak off in the distance. You can either go talk to him or wander off. You go talk to him. There's a couple of other options that happen there. But eventually you're going to have to leave the swamp, and that's where you get the 4 cards. And it's...
is this like a harsher version of the weird haunted circus thing? Where it's like 1 success and 3 failures, and then 2 successes and like a failure and a huge failure.
Well, you have success and huge success and failure and huge failure, so it's all 4 of the cards. But if you get, unlike the circus when you get a huge failure, you don't really get punished too hard.
No, you get 1 more draw to get yourself out of it.
Yeah, which I really want to beat the Devil's Carnival because I made it like
I always fail the first roll, and I cannot get that token.
Yeah, I don't have the token yet because I've gotten 2 huge successes on it back to back, and I couldn't seal the 3rd one, and that was rough. But the bad part about this, Devil's Carnival will eventually let you leave, and it might just sort of beat the crap out of you for a little bit. Lost in Swamp will not let you leave until you get a successful roll. So, but the bad part is when you get bad rolls, you're getting an enemy encounter.
Yeah.
And if you get a huge failure, you're getting a curse or a pain card at the same time. So,
yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, if I don't get that first victory, I feel like I just get the yips and I'm stuck in there for probably about the next 30 minutes until it kills me.
Yeah, and the worst thing about this is it's one of those games where when you first start playing it, you're like, wait, the one on the far left was huge success. It shuffled to the top of the deck, and then it shuffled to the far right. So I know that the one on the far right is huge success.
Yeah.
So at the start of the game, you're like, okay, yeah, it's this card,
I'll
it's that card.
just watch it. I know where it's going.
And then it does the double shuffle. It's like, great. Now I completely don't know what it is.
Yeah. And now there are triple shuffles, and the shuffle can go incredibly quickly. So sometimes it's just like, okay, cool. Like the most beneficial blessing that I have by far is the pull a card and see what it is, and allow you to toss it back into the pile and reshuffle. Because there's so many times where I pull a huge failure and it's like, nope, let's try that again. Even if I get a huge failure again, at least I tried.
Yes.
Yeah. I really like the cards where you get an item or you talk to somebody and they toss another card somewhere else on the board that you're looking at.
Yeah, like Village Hero is the one I frequently keep running myself into.
Ember Town Hero is another one.
Yeah, where you have to... the hero's funeral, where you have to deliver his sword and shield back to his hometown.
Yep. Yeah, there's a loan. No, loan is different because that gives you a blessing. There's another one, where you deliver a bunch of gold to another person.
Yep.
That one's really good. Earlier today I got 150 gold from them, and I went to the other person, and I was like, all right, I have a ton of gold right now. I'm just gonna try the option of like, hey, he didn't give me any gold. Like, what are you talking about? And thankfully that succeeded, and he was like, that no good so-and-so. I can't believe he screwed me out of gold again. I was like, all right.
So you got yourself 150 gold through snively means.
Yep, and then died, like, almost immediately. So karma is still alive and well. Speaking of gold, I found an item that I really, really like. It's called the Mask of Extortion. Have you seen this yet?
I think I might have unlocked it, but I don't know if I've used it yet.
So it increases your strength on the inverse of your gold.
So no gold equals higher strength.
Yeah, so and the great part is every shop has food in it. So
you just spend all that gold and get food.
Earlier today I managed to have it. I had 0 gold, and I had not the starting axe, but another item that was only like 30 attack, so it wasn't one of the super powerful ones.
Yeah.
I ran into a 3 of dust, just the normal dudes, and was able to 2-shot them.
Oh wow!
Like it is stupid strong. So like that helmet you were talking about last week, that's one of those ones where it's like, you're always going to be in my deck, and I'm always going to grab you. I don't care what else is there.
Yeah.
We already talked about the Devil's Carnival. The tavern bet is the one I can't seem to fail when I want to fail it, because
I can't succeed.
The tavern bet for me, the one that I'm getting is they say they're gonna throw a dagger at you, and if they miss, then you get 5 gold.
Okay, the tavern bet I've run into is the poker game.
Oh, I've run into that a couple of times. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't pass that at all.
Yeah, that's the one I consistently fail at.
Yeah, that's one of the few tokens I really want, because I run into it once every match, and I keep thinking the one where they're throwing a dagger at you, I'm thinking you have to fail it, because if you succeed it, they give you 5 gold, and then he puts the token back in puts a little cover back on, and everything's fine.
So you have to. So yeah, it's one of those ones where you have to fail it.
Yeah, and I can't fail it for the life of me. Like anything else, I will happily fail.
Because you know what's going to happen is if you fail that, they're going to hit you with a knife. You're going to get a paying card, and then that token is going to give you a blessing to make you deal more damage when you've been injured, or more damage when you're cursed, or something like that.
I hope so. Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is the very last stage.
Okay.
Up until then, and you've seen it too, you're starting runs with curses, but a lot of the times they're not bad, where it's like, oh, if you parry, you eat 1 food automatically. It's like, all right, that's fine. That's not gonna I will have enough food. That's not gonna screw me. This one though, the very last level, the curse, there are 2 curses, one of them doesn't really matter. The one that does really matter is every 4 steps you pull a pain card. I was on the 3rd floor of that level. I was down to 33 max health. Oh my god.
Yeah, it sounds like that sounds to me like you need a blessing to help you counter that kind of stuff.
Yeah, or like you just need to book it through that level. Like, don't stop at shops. Don't stop for nothing.
Yeah,
unless it's the maiden, then you ask
screw somebody over and like get to a priest or whatever it is shop that cures curses.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, those built-in curses are so much money to remove. So
yeah, I think the one I saw was like, I think it was 120 gold just to remove the curse. That means you get a curse every time that you buy something.
Yeah, like, there are a bunch of them like that. Like, have you run into the blood auction yet?
I haven't run into the blood auction yet, but I have run into a vampire.
Yeah, the vampire's interesting. I don't think that is. I haven't had a run yet where I've needed to take advantage of that. I really want to take advantage of the the blood auction though, because you can go and you can auction for great gear with your health, but the options are 60, 120, and 180 health, and I so rarely get over 100. Nevertheless, up to 180.
Yeah.
So, but that's one of the things I like about Hand of Fate is I start thinking like, okay, maybe I have that in my deck. Maybe I'll try and change my deck around
to give you the maximum max HP kind of run.
Yeah, like try and maybe push myself towards that sort of build, but I'm mainly thinking about doing that once I beat the very last boss. Because what I'm hoping to spend some time with for our next week, our last episode of Hand of Fate, is Endless Mode. Because I haven't played with that at all.
Yeah, I haven't touched that at all either. All I know is that the first time I loaded it, the guy sitting at the table was like, "Oh, so now you're ready to really play the game."
Oh, no.
And I was like,
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
I mean, that right there, that is probably your answer to the 180 thing.
Yeah. It's like one of those Isaac basement runs where it's just the basement forever.
Yes.
For better or for worse. But I'm excited. I feel like once you get to the third row of cards in the list of, the deck of 52, basically. I feel like that's where the game really starts to take off. I feel like the beginning is too easy and the end is too hard, and that row is kind of the sweet spot.
Yeah, it starts to show the roguelike aspect a lot stronger there without actually being super punishing for it.
Yeah. But that's the benefit, I think, of the DLC cards that are in there, where I'm not killing the boss, but I'm still probably clearing one or two of these storyline cards per run if I'm having a good run. So, that's where I feel like without that, the game might feel a little too punitive. It might I'm doing 5 or 6 runs in a row where I'm not doing anything. That would feel a little bit punishing, but
yeah, there's always more cards. It feels like I don't, even when I have a bad run, it feels like I'm still walking away with at least 2 to 5 new tokens, and it's like, here's 6 new cards, here's 5 new cards, here's 3 new cards.
And I think that's why I'm so excited to eventually play Hand of Fate 2, to see where they've smoothed the edges on all that stuff. Because I don't remember if this was their first game, but it does very much feel like an early game where the scope is very small, and you can't even pick gender of your player character, and there's just one character. It's the dealer. There's not that the game needs it, but there's not a lot going on there. I'm excited to see how they expand this already addictive formula they have. Because all I want to go do is play more of it.
I think it's one of those games that, like, when I start playing it, I struggle. Like, even if I have one good run and a couple of really bad runs, I struggle to walk away from it and be like, no, I have got other stuff I need to be doing, other stuff I need to be playing.
It's just too good. And that's one of the great parts about We Roguelike It, is I feel like 4 weeks is a pretty solid amount. Anything longer than that, I feel like we'd start doing deck building mechanics, and here's our build of the week.
I'm going to be looking into that. Yeah.
All right, anything else before we wrap this guy up?
Nope, not for me.
All right, then we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.